Okay, so today's webinar on Skype, and a couple things that you need to know. What is Skype? Okay, Skype is a VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol communication service. It's owned now by Microsoft. They bought the company a few years ago. And Voice over IP, regardless of what that is, there's lots of voice over IP services. If you have your phone from Comcast, that's a voice over IP. And what that means is that your communication is being done over the internet. And that's great as long as the internet is working. And this is true with Skype. As long as you have good internet service and the person that you're calling, if they're on Skype, if they have good internet, you're great. All right, but if there's an internet issue, sometimes that can cause problems with any kind of voice over IP software. What does Skype do? It allows you to make audio and video calls, to send files, to send text messages, and to other Skype users for free. So as long as you're communicating with someone else, it doesn't matter where they are. So for instance, Ryan, our oldest son, he will go to Israel. He will go to some other country, and we can still Skype. He just gets on the internet, and we can Skype back and forth. It's the same thing with anyone. It doesn't matter where they are, as long as they can get on the internet, and as long as they have a Skype account, you can communicate for free just by using Skype. And finally, it does allow you, Skype allows you to send SMS text messages and call land and mobile phones. However, that is not free. That's for a small fee. But I'm going to show you how it's pretty easy to get Skype Credit. I have some Skype Credit, and I haven't paid for it myself. It didn't come out of my pocket, and I'll show you a little bit how to do that. So that's it for our intro into Skype. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually do some Skype calling so you get to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reshare my screen here, and you should see it now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Skype. And I'm going to point out a few things. Joyce is also going to open her Skype. And in a little bit, in a few minutes, I'm going to ask her to call me. But I want to show you a few general things. This is the newest Skype app. And I'll try to make it a little bigger for you. And what happens is on the left-hand side, that is your that is your message list of people that have either called you or messaged you, etc. And it goes back and forth. You can keep it as long as you want, or you can delete them. I just keep them because it's easier. But that's your list of communications that you've had. Now above that, you see Search Skype, and I'll show you that in a minute. But we also have some icons. There's a little bell, and that would be notifications. And you might be able to see, I have my mouse on it right now, and it says I have no new notifications, and that's fine. Next to that is what looks like a little old address book, which that's your contacts. So if I click on that, my contacts show up in the middle. And you see I have a long list of contacts. And I can, click on them and Skype with them or do whatever I want to do. Now, beside that, there's a little icon that says call mobiles and landlines worldwide. Now, this is where I would go if I wanted to call a phone or a mobile phone. But again, you have to have credit to do that. That is not free. Skype to Skype is free. But it would be a way of doing that. And we'll look at that in a little bit. And then finally, the three dots, that's more. I can go to settings. I can look at help online. I can send feedback. I can learn about this version. I can log out. And I did show, but over on the left, that's a picture. That's Joyce and I in the picture. I can put a mood in. I can say whether I'm active. I can say do not disturb. I can be invisible. I can show my mobile phone if I want to. And you notice that I have $2.97 in Skype Credit. And I'll show you how to do that. And then farther down, there's more things, more settings, manage your account, etc. Log out, same as what was on the 3 dots. So those are the kind of the same things there. So that's how that works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Joyce to go ahead and Skype me. And when she goes to send me a call, you see over in the left-hand corner, and there's something down here. I'm going to answer with video. So I've now answered the Skype with video, and now you can see Joyce on the screen. Hi, Joyce. Okay, so and if you're looking, you can see in the lower right-hand corner, that's me. So you can see yourself when you're Skyping with video, like if you were out of the picture, like if I had the thing in the wrong thing, you say, uh-oh, she won't be able to see me. She's only looking at some pictures and the ceiling. So that allows me to adjust what I want to see, what I want her to see. And by the way, I just want to mention that when she called, okay, you just stepped out of the shower, right? You don't want to answer with a video call. You can just answer with audio. You don't have to answer video. We chose video this time so that you could see how the video worked, but you don't have to do that. All right, so now that we're in here, we can talk. She can talk to me. I can talk to her. She can show me whatever. Yeah, there you go. And we can do that. Now, if she wants to end the call, either one of us can end the call. There is a icon when you move your cursor, and you should be seeing it on the screen. There are some icons on the bottom. I could cut the video off. I could cut my mic off. I could click on these 3 dots, and I could do different things to different. Now, one thing we can do, notice it says add people to this call. We could actually add someone to this Skype call so that there would be more than just the 2 of us. So I would click on that, pick somebody from my list, and I'd be able to add somebody to the call. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Joyce to hang up. So she's going to hang up. And there she goes. Okay, now that we're back, I want to show you a few other things. I'm clicked on her name on the left-hand side, and you can see that there is history on the right of the calls and things that we did. Down at the bottom, I can type a message to her. So I'm going to type, "Hi, Joyce. Was great to see you on the screen." And then I'm going to go over here to the arrow, and I'm going to click and send that. And now she, on her end, she will have gotten that message from me, and she could reply if it was necessary, or she doesn't have to reply if she doesn't want to. But I have sent her a message, and I did it without having to use my phone, or I'm not worried about whether she has a phone. There she just replied, and she said right back at you. Now, another thing I can do, aside from a message, down here on the lower right hand, there are some icons. I could add an emoji if I wanted to. If I want to do that, there's all kinds. And, you know, I can scroll through all those, hand gestures, there's all kinds of stuff. I could send her an animal, whatever I want to do, I could send her an emoji. Next to that, there's a picture that I could send her an image. So if I wanted to, I could click on that, and it would then ask me to pick a picture from somewhere on my computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out, let's see if I can find something in here. I know that Joyce loves pictures of trains pretty much like I do. So I'm going to pick out a train picture, and I am sending that to her through Skype. So now you see it on your screen because I just sent it to her, and on her screen, she will then get the picture. So it's another easy way to send a picture if I wanted to by using Skype. And then back down to the bottom again, beside the pictures, I could send a document or send a file. So I can click send a file, and once again, it comes up and I could go to my documents and I could pick out a file and I could send her a file if I wanted to. Can't send a whole folder, but I could send, I could send a file if I wanted to. So I'm not going to at this point, but I would just pick one out and send her the file. And the same thing would happen. It would go through Skype. And again, because we're doing Skype to Skype, it hasn't cost me anything to do that. All right. And then finally down at the bottom again, I could send a video message. I don't have to do a live video with her. I don't have to Skype live. I can do a live video message. So if I click send, it was now ready and I'm ready to record, and I can click record and it'll record the message, and then I can end the recording. I could play it if I wanted to, or I can pick the blue icon. The black one on the left would allow me to play it to make sure it was okay, or I can press the blue and it will send her the video. So once again, it doesn't even matter if she's there or if has Skype open. She could have Skype closed and I could send her a video message. And then the next time she opens Skype, she would see that I sent her a video message. Depending how she has it set up, even if Skype wasn't open, she would get a notification that I had sent her something. Like in the case of the picture of the train, she would get a notification that I sent her that. In the case of the video, she would get a notification that I sent her that. So for some of you, I haven't really looked to see who's here today at this point, but for some of you, you might be in our category where we have the grandkids and we want to send them. We'll make a little video up and send them a video. And we can do that through Skype, and they'll get notified, and then hopefully mom and dad will show the girls what that video was. So that's another cool thing that you can do. Also down in the corner, beside the video, there is a place where I could send her my contacts if I wanted to do that. I'm not going to do that right now, but I could send my contacts if I wanted to. Then that's all things that you're doing through Skype that cost you absolutely nothing monetarily. Cost you some time, but that's what you got to do if you want to do these things. But you do all that for free. Now let's talk about using Skype for things that aren't free. And I'm going to go up in the upper left-hand corner again, where it says call mobiles and landlines worldwide. And I can click on that and I can enter a number. Now keep in mind, you have to have credit. I could add Skype Credit. I could create, or I could get a subscription, which that's where you actually subscribe and they have different plans and you pay so much and you get so many minutes. And I could do that if I wanted to. But I told you, I'm going to show you a way to get Skype Credit without putting any money out of your pocket. But what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to put in our work number. Okay, so I'm going to call the work number. I put the number in. I could have used the keypad if I wanted to. And I'm going to say call. And what will happen is it'll call that. It'll try to get it. Okay, so I got through. I got the recording. I've hung up now because we're both working the webinar. I don't want to do that. And what happens is you'll look, like in this case, because I was on such a short time, it actually didn't deduct anything yet from the $2.97. But if I stayed on the line and talked for a while, it that would go down. Now, as far as the rates, you can go and look at Skype and see what the rates are. I don't know those offhand. And I basically go by, okay, I'm just going to make the call, and whatever it costs me, it costs me. But they're, very inexpensive rates. They're especially outside the United States to make calls to foreign countries. They're excellent rates. Now, I said that I would tell you, how did I get that $2.97 for nothing? I didn't pay any money. And here's how. Okay, I use the Bing browser for searching. And you can see now I open Microsoft Edge and it comes to Bing. And so what I want to point out is I want to point out the that up here I'm logged in with my Microsoft account, and I want to point out that up here, I know it's a little hard to see. Let's see if I can make the screen bigger, if that will help us. Hang on just a second. Let's see if that will help us see it. Yes, well, I'll make this bigger so you can see. Okay. I'm on Bing, and you see that it has my picture and my name. And beside it, it has 14,445. That's how many points I have for using Bing search. Microsoft will give you points if you use Bing search. And as you can see, I've got 14,000 and almost 14.5 in points, so I use it a lot. Now, what you can do is you can take those points and you get rewards. I'm going to load, I could get a gift card, I could do all kinds of things. You can see that for 4,650 points, I can get a Microsoft gift card. And I can earn points faster. They have little games, they do different things, and they tell you how to do it. I'm on level 2, which means that I've actually get more points. I have a lot of available points. You can see it adding up there, 14,000. It shows you how many I've earned. It breaks it down. And then when I hit redeem, I'll show you that when I hit redeem, let's see if I can find it for you. See, you can even get a Walmart card. There's all kinds of things you can redeem, but here's Skype Credit. So for 800 points, keeping in mind I have 14,000, I could get a lot of credit for Skype. All right, but I like to let my points mount up. Now, you're going to say to me, but John, I use Google search. All right, and that's fine if you use Google search. But Bing, I like Bing for a lot of reasons. First of all, on a privacy matter, it's not that they don't track anything, but Microsoft, they keep a lot less information about you. They gather a lot less information about you than Google. And Google is they're a huge company, and they gather your location, they gather what you look for, what you search for. And I have found myself just pulling away from Google search more and more. And generally speaking, what I'm looking for in search, I can easily find in Bing. Also at the bottom, they give you things like, here's the Port St. Lucie weather. They give you stories that they think you might want to see, or that's in the news. There's entertainment. There's all kinds of things that they give you as suggestions. And so that's another reason that I like Bing. So it's just bing.com, and You know, you can go there and search for things. And let's just search for, let's just search for past composers here. And as it turns out, this very first website that comes up happens to be Joyce's, okay, out of a lot of responses. But they do a lot of things in Bing that are kind of nice, and you'll get all kinds of responses from them. And I like their web searches as much, sometimes more than Google. So again, now in order to get points, by the way, I want to make this very clear. Okay, you have to be logged in with your Microsoft account. Now, if you don't have a Microsoft account, keep in mind Microsoft accounts are free. And you simply need to set one up. And you can use them for a lot of things around the web. So once again, that's how I got Skype Credit without actually spending any money out of my pocket. And as you saw, I could get a whole lot more credit, okay, because, you know, I have lots of points. I have 14,000, and for 800 points, I can add more credit. So, and you can see, if you look now, I brought Skype back up. Do you remember what that figure was before? $2.79. Okay, it's actually up to $2.89, and that came from doing some searching there. They automatically added to my Skype credit. So it's a really good thing, a really good way to use Skype and be able to call landlines and mobile phones and not have to take any money out of your own pocket. Again, obviously, if you have your smartphone and you're going to call somebody in the United States who has a smartphone, you're going to use your phone. Okay, that's just sensible. That doesn't cost you anything either. All right, but especially if you want to call people or phones, if you want to call, you know, some other kind of phone, especially outside the United States, Skype is just so inexpensive, it makes it worthwhile. All right, Joyce, do we have any questions? And you could text me those if you do have any questions. I'll go back on you. Were there any questions? So you can text me yes or no. Were there any questions that I need to address at this point? Okay, hang on just a second. All right, so she's telling me no questions. So once again, thanks for joining today. I hope you learned a little bit about Skype. You know, the Skype app has been updated. So even if you were using Skype before, some things are different, and I hope I've pointed those out for you. If you do have any questions, just send me an email, john@4kcc.com, and I'll be happy to try to answer those for you. Thanks, and have a great day.